My guest today is Galia Albin, a respected author, advocate and business leader from Israel. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about your start as a businesswoman. In the 1980s, you inherited your husband's 7 companies when he passed away. You are a mother, you're a grandmother. The business climate at that time wasn't necessarily favourable for women. So how was it to go into business?
At that time, it was a glass ceiling, and I was married to a very well-to-do businessman, and when he died all of a sudden, at the age of 41, nobody prepared me for the job. And I didn't realize that this is a men's club. I didn't realize that when you meet men in cocktail as the wife of, in the morning, it's a different language. And when he passed away, I had, for example, the Schindler Company, the elevator company, and the major newspaper, the Economic Globes, which is the equivalent to the Financial Times, and public companies where you sit on board in public and everything is exposed. And everybody knew that I know nothing about business. I was just a psychologist and the wifey of and the mother, and they were just waiting for me to fall. And I remember even a conversation with my husband's lawyer, and he said, "I'm not your lawyer, I used to be his." And I said, "Well, where is your ethics? I mean, I'm the widow, the kids." He said, "It's a different language." And then all I did was learn their language. If you want to know your enemy, you have to know the other side. It took me 2 years to understand who is against who, and I knew the rules changed, the language changed. There's one thing I decided not to become, and that's a man. I stayed a woman in the business world. I brought, yes, even the smell of my perfume. I didn't change, I didn't speak their language. I created my own language. And yes, in the 80s in Israel, I was the first, but I was given the chance. And today, I feel privileged enough to be able to pass the torch to other women, and all those women in business who say, "But it affects my marriage, affects my children." Yes, it's not easy, and I had to juggle all the time. But even home is a business. If you know how to run your business at home and between the help you can get, it's just the same as outside.
Over the last 10 years, you've used your wonderful profile and your experience as a businesswoman to champion the rights of women in Israel. What made you feel like someone had to take that position?
Israel is a Jewish state, but we have 22% minorities. The women in the minorities who do not get a fair chance from their own husbands and their own communities when they're Muslim and Christians, I felt that I was given the privilege, I should mentor them. And we formed Jasmine, which is an economic forum of Arab and Jewish women in Israel. And I feel promoting the non-Jewish, underprivileged women in Israel is my mission.
We're very passionate about mentoring and women in business and being able to pass the torch, if you like, as you mentioned, to the next woman. You too are passionate about mentoring women. Tell us how you approach it.
Unfortunately, part of the glass ceiling now has lipstick on it, because women who made it now in the 21st century are not exactly keen to promote other women because the competition is so great. I don't see it this way, because from where I stand, I see mentoring as one of my priorities. And we mentor because Israel is also a melting pot. The women come from different nationality, different languages. They have absorption difficulties, and we, the Israeli women, must help them for our better society. We gain so much by having the next generation of women in business that will be professionals. And it's not just because technology helped them to do so much. It's because of technology, they need the other end of the puzzle to fulfill their needs. And this is where the experienced women come and mentor them.
What is 3 key things that, since the mid-80s when you took over the businesses, have been your biggest lessons that you would pass on as words of wisdom?
First is turn the lemon to lemonade. It's great. Easier than you think. Just put some sugar, put a straw, and it becomes a lemonade, anything. And if you drive after a truck, zoom out in order, otherwise you just see the truck. So the thing is, zoom in, zoom out everywhere, every time. And the last most important thing, only the woman who dares wins. If she doesn't dare, she will never win.
Thank you. Just before we go, this is the English version of a book that was a bestseller in your country. Very quickly, tell us what it's about.
Love Conquers All is really a triumph of a woman. It's my life story, how I took over the business, and with all the hardships and juggling between staying a woman with my values, but understanding the new battlefield I'm at, and that's the business arena. We have to be good, whether we're women or men. I understand, first of all, we have to be good in the business. We have to be excellent in everything we do. There's no shortcut. At the end, nobody cares how good your perfume smells. But after you do that, stay you. And it's, you know, in Israel we have a law. You must have in every boardroom 2 women by law. So my mission was to select the good women, because what the men used to do, they used to take their mothers and grandmothers and put them on the board. And I said, no, they have to have the skills, and promoting them, educating them, getting good science education is a mission. And we are one family. The business women in the world, whether it's the 20th century women or 21st century women, because of technology, we can speak the same language, we can connect, we can be above any conflict and coexist, because economics will prevail.
Thank you so much for joining us.